we're here as MCs to reimagine a world where the dynamics of power and influence for women are elevated, bias is neutralized, and more female investors invest in female founders.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first Women's Fast Pitch Stop taking place in the Northeast. My name is Raven O'Neill, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Stella. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us and our community of female founders in support. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to our founder and board chair, Dr. Sylvia Ma, who will be co-hosting this meeting with me. Sylvia, would you like to say a couple words?
I just want to introduce everybody to the concept of Stella. We are a constellation of support resources and wonderful opportunities to activate capital and get connected to capital for entrepreneurs and to see amazing entrepreneurs on stage today. So get in there, support your entrepreneurs in your ecosystem. I'm just super excited this is starting. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I'd also like to take a minute to thank our sponsors who are here with us today. Karen DeShane, partner at Cooley. Barbara Clark, founder and chair of the Impact Seat Foundation. Barbara's going to say a couple words. Welcome, Barbara.
Hello.
Hello. Did you want to say a couple words?
I am. I'm just trying to. Now it's saying it won't undo my video.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Let's try this. Here we go. As I was saying, I'm on my 2014 laptop, and so it's a bit of a time warp. It's not quite up to Zoom. But anyways, no. So yeah, just really excited to be a part of this, having been to the Women's Venture Summit, I think, since the very beginning. So it's really exciting to be here.
Thank you for being here. Do you want to give a couple quick notes about your book?
Sure. I didn't know if you guys had any specific questions, but so I wrote a book called Build Your Board, Build Your Business. And, you know, just like Stella was sort of created to support women entrepreneurs, I have been investing in women-led companies for over a decade. I have 60 direct investments in women-led companies, and I have a bunch of investments in funds, probably about 15 by now, about 15 venture funds that I've invested in. And when you see that women have been systematically excluded from venture capital, you start to think, just like Stella is thinking, like, what are the things that we need to do to improve the ecosystem to make women succeed? And so one of the key things I saw was that having a board of directors that's really well run, diverse, large enough, at probably the earliest stage you can do it at, that is the secret sauce to success. Because a well-run board of directors is going to help guide you in all of your future. All the future needs that you have for your company. And so I wanted to create a book that demystified creating a board, walked you through what to do, and just like hopefully makes the case that folks should have a board of directors.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And for those of you in the audience, Barbara will be joining us for Women's Venture Summit on September 16th and 17th to talk more about building your board. Thank you so much for being here, Barbara.
Thanks.
I'd also like to take a moment to thank our judging tech sponsor, Rocket Judge. And next, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stella. Stella is putting on both the Fast Pitch and the Venture Summit, and Stella connects women, founders, and investors to the right resources at the right time in their journeys. From ideation to funding to exit, women founders and investors look to Stella for its powerful constellation of support, made up of an inclusive community, curriculum, access to capital events, and an annual summit, advisory services, and funding opportunities. I'd like you to stay till the very end to hear about 3 special announcements that we're going to make at the end. Exciting news. And I'm going to invite Sylvia back to introduce our amazing judges.
Thank you so much. It takes an ecosystem, right, for entrepreneurs that you're going to see on stage right now, but also the judges that donate their time here today to look at the entrepreneurs and judge them based on a criteria that we send to the entrepreneurs. And we'll go through their criteria later so that you completely understand. We're very transparent here at Stella. So the first up is the wonderful judge, Cheryl Conti. She's the CEO of the Impact Seat Foundation. She's an award-winning founder and chair of the mission-driven digital agency Do Big Things. She's also an Amazon bestselling author of Mechanical Bull, How You Can Achieve Startup Success. I have read it and I just kind of like leaf it all the way through, and then I go back and I refer it, or I tell a startup founder, I'm like, you know what, you need to get this book, right? So it's a great resource. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for being here. She's also co-founder of Attentively, the first tech startup with a Black female founder to be acquired by a NASDAQ company. So we are so honored for you to be here, Cheryl. Thank you so much for your time, as always. Next up is Judge Christina Montague. She is a managing partner of the Jump Fund, an early stage investment fund based in the Southeast. She is also an angel investor working to increase the number of women as early stage investors and expand access to capital for female entrepreneurs. I've known her for so many years. I always say that she is my mentor. From when I started off, I said, how do I do this, Christina? And she was like, come alongside me. Let's learn together. We talked about it. We were part of Next Wave Impact Fund together as investment committee members. So we are always dedicated to this space, the two of us. Christina lives by the philosophy, invest in the change you want to see in the world, and focus her investment philanthropic and nonprofit work in the areas of education, entrepreneurship, and social equity. So thank you, Christina, for always donating your time and always saying yes whenever we ask. All of these say this. This is this amazing ecosystem of amazing investors. Next up is Brianna McDonald. She is the president of the Northwest region of Keiretsu Forum Angel Investment Community, the largest and most active venture investor globally. And I have known her for many, many years too. She always invites me to her pitch competitions, innovation showcases, all the things that she does in the Northwest, but she is known nationwide and globally for really putting founders first. I know that whenever I need to have a founder get some great insight and pitches, send her to Brianna. She's going to give you a really great, realistic view of how you're doing your pitch and really getting you to that next level. So thank you, Brianna. She has established a reputation for achieving in all phases of the Keiretsu process: risk management, market anticipation and response, business development, angel investing, and overall enterprise management. So last up is our judge, Julius Alejandro, right here in San Diego, founder and project director of Village Up, a collaborative initiative to increase diversity and access to the San Diego startup tech ecosystem. If anybody has ever met Julius, he's always like, how can I help? How can I have a coffee? What about this? My students are doing amazing. He teaches at SDSU. I think so. No, another university. Sorry. But amazing amazing ecosystem builder. And really going after the funders that are underrepresented and underestimated. So I always love meeting with Julius because he always has a smile on his face. Julius strives for innovative approaches to solve social issues and has years of experience in grassroots organizing, the nonprofit sector, and startup ecosystems. So next up is the intro to Meet the Founders video. Get to know them a little bit more.
Hello, and welcome back. In just a minute, I'm going to go over the process, but I wanted to take a moment to welcome our other sponsor, Cooley, Karen Deshane, partner at Cooley, up to say a couple things about Cooley.
Thank you, Raven. Cooley is so pleased to be partnering with the Women's Venture Summit again this year, and in particular, the Fast Pitch competition. So first off, congratulations to all of the presenters. And thanks to the Women's Venture Summit team who helped to make this happen. For those of you who may not know, we're a global law firm of 1,500 lawyers across the United States, Europe, and Asia. And we're best known for representing leading innovators across all industries, innovators like you. We rank #1 for representing companies in venture capital financing transactions in the US and globally. We represent more than 40% of the Wall Street Journal's billion-dollar company list, more than half the companies on the NASDAQ Biotech Index. And we're also known as IP leaders in the startup world. Last year, our IP team filed more than 6,000 patents globally. My colleague, Heidi Erlacher, is going to share more on intellectual property later in today's session. We are deeply committed to diversity, both for our employees and the women founders we support. We recently ranked as a top law firm in Fortune's Best Workplace for Women, Best Workplace for Parents, and Best Workplace for Diversity. We're involved with several platforms, including this one year after year, with a goal of supporting women founders, women board members, and women executives in high growth industries. We're so pleased to support the women founders presenting here today. Thank you for having us. Thank you for letting us be involved in this really exciting event.
Thank you, Karen. And thank you so much for being here and your continued support. We love having Cooley with us every year in this journey. So a real quick update on this event. So pitches will be 90 seconds to 3 minutes. There will be a Q&A by 4 judges. Questions will be supportive, clarifying, and promotion-based. The judging rubric consists of 4 criteria: business model, product market fit, execution and team, and presentation. So the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to introduce you to your first founder of the Women's Fast Pitch, Ines Gramegna of Skylyte.
Hi, I'm Ines, and I'm one of the co-founders of Skylyte, where we're building the Chief Wellbeing Officer in your team's pocket. Workplace toxicity and burnout are driving churn. 38 million workers left their jobs in the US during the Great Resignation, but 10 times more of those workers left due to burnout versus compensation. But current workplace well-being tools are actually falling short. They're not focusing on the team, even though it's a main source of burnout, and they use antiquated measures such as tedious and inaccurate surveys then that sit on someone's desktop and no one does anything about it. And that's why we built Skylyte, a personalized digital compass to build your team's well-being based on research and machine learning. So how does it work? It's a combination of a platform and an async coach that's charged as a B2B SaaS fee, where we use a 4-part process for teams. We start with measurement using self-reported data, NLP, and voice data. We then support teams with learning, including digital courses and a me and team manual that helps explain how each person does best in a team. And then finally, supporting action taking and rewards through a personalized action system and gamification. A measurement deep dive briefly, we use vocal biomarkers because we believe that a multimodal approach is the best to getting accuracy and reducing the burden, but we're also using it to build a moat around vocal biomarkers that predict burnout. We have immediate and long-term impact, as you can see from the numbers on the right, including 42% of users that still engage weekly after 6 months. Our competitive positioning is one of the team health analytics and behavior change tool. And the way that we differentiate ourselves from our competitors is in 3 ways. 1, we are really team focused. 2, we focus on multimodal analytics. And 3, we really push beyond analytics to action taking. We are already trusted team health experts, as you can see by the brands that we've worked with. And you can see also through our traction and projections, we've already made 330K since our launch last year and are live with 10 companies and 10 teams. Our big vision is to be the ubiquitous team well-being tool, similarly to what Slack has done with team communicationing by actioning your team's digital footprint. We are the team to make it happen. I have a background in operations and product. My co-founder is a subject matter expert of 20 years, and our founding CTO has 20 years of experience in the startup world in New York, including selling his company for 120 million. We are raising a 4 million seed round and have about 1.5 million of that already soft circled. Most of this will go towards streamlining sales processes and building out our machine learning data sets and testing. We hope you join us in empowering teams to own and act on their team health data. Thank you very much.
Wonderful job, Ines. Thank you so much for such a great pitch. What we do now is we'll go into Q&A, which what we do at Stella is we're very mindful of getting at least 2 judges to be prepared for great questions for you. Again, promotion-focused questions, clarifying questions. And so I want to introduce Cheryl Conti and Julius Alejandro that will be leading the Q&A. Who would like to go first?
I can go.
Yeah, go ahead, Julius.
Hi, Ines. Wonderful presentation. Can you clarify? Do you provide mental health services as part of the add-on options? I saw Fitbit and so forth, like Headspace. Would that be an option?
So we do not offer it, but we do referrals for those companies for people who need additional support as an individual. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Great presentation, Ines, and really exciting product. So do you have integrations or partnerships? You have that slide with all of the logos. What do those partnerships and integrations look like?
Yeah, and maybe I'll actually bring that slide back, given that I think it might be relevant. So actually the 2 that we're working on currently are Asana and Slack. And so we believe that those are actually the most low-hanging fruit, given the types of customers that we focus on, which tend to be kind of slightly smaller teams, like 50 to 200 people, usually high stress, tech teams. And so Slack and Asana are often like tools that they use. So we're in the process of building out those integrations right now. And actually Asana, I think, is really excited for the possibilities for them of seeing how behavior in the Asana tool might be linked to elements of productivity and burnout risk.
Got it. So some of these you're working on and some of these are not installed yet, but are it's in your roadmap. Got it.
Exactly. So this is part of like the big vision of where we see ourselves really kind of actioning on like the team's digital footprint and really absorbing that to be able to draw kind of conclusions and guidance for the teams in a way that's like low burden, but high accuracy.
Okay, and what's your biggest objection in the sales process? And what's your sales cycle look like? And how do you overcome that objection?
Yeah, great question. And I might actually stop sharing and maybe I'll share one other slide at the end. So I would say the biggest objection that we get is actually like, how do you compare to like a Lattice or, one of these bigger workplace companies that have a lot more resources? And the big thing that we tell them is like, I simply ask the question, well, you've done these, you've used these potentially. What have you done with the data since you've like done the surveys? And usually it's like, well, nothing, like we still have to act on it. I'm like, that's great. When did you do it last? And they'll usually say something 6 months. I'm like, that's great, but no one has therefore seen like what you're going to do about it, and that creates disillusionment. And so we actually use that often as a way to flip it on its head and say, yes, like a lot of these companies have a renowned name and are well known, but they actually don't empower you to take the next level of change. And that means that you're never going to get out of the cycles of like resurveying and resurveying and resurveying and creating more disillusionment. So we actually have managed to kind of use that now as an advantage, but that was definitely one of our like early on objections or like concerns, was like, hey, you're much smaller than these guys, and what does it mean in terms of your ability to really help us?
No, smart. And then how long is your sales cycle again? Sorry.
Yeah, so great question. Let me actually show you a slide for that, because I think that'll help. So we actually have two go-to-market motions, one which is bottom up and one which is top down. So let me just share my screen again, because I think that'll help. So you can see the top-down approach, we're selling directly into CEOs or CHROs. Usually these are much bigger contracts, as you can see with the ACV, but the deal velocity is slower, right? So usually 3 to 4 months. However, when we released our 2.0 version, we started having much more of a self-serve option. And so we were able to sell directly into teams. And so there we actually see that the sales cycle is much faster, because they're a smaller unit. They're usually 8 to 10 people. And so smaller deal sizes, but like much faster deal velocity.
Smart. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have about 30 more seconds. Oops, I can't start my video. So is any other questions that we have?
Julius has a
Yeah,
question.
Julius
Yes.
has.
One more question, Julius. Go ahead.
Yes. Are you creating measurement for the companies to show like in decrease of burnout? Do you share that for a company wide, or how does that look like to indicate success in helping a company?
Yeah, so actually we do measure burnout. We use actually our proprietary survey that we built with experts in the subject, and our own, and of course my co-founder is an expert in the subject as well. And what we do is we actually do show org-wide scores, and we also show at the team level. So you can actually see a breakdown by team of how much burnout has evolved over time, as well as resilience scores. However, you're the only one that can see your own personal scores. And that's very deliberate, because we wanted to find the right balance between transparency and privacy. So you can only ever see your team's aggregate score and the range, but you can't see individuals. So that was what we did.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So we're out of time. You did a great job with all the question and answer, Ines. I loved how you brought up your slide deck again and answered questions. Thank you, judges. They were really clarifying questions, really great way of just kind of getting out the brilliance of Skylyte. So thank you so much. We're going to go off to the next one. But before we go into pitch number 2, I want to remind the audience, I have right here YouTube, right? So we would love for you to like and subscribe to YouTube, our Stella a YouTube channel. So it's just right there. There's some awesome chats going on. So go in there, subscribe, go to the chat. It's just right here on your phone. I'm even doing Zoom and the phone. So just like be engaged with the community. So thank you so much. And I think we're up, making sure that we have the next founder up, and we're really excited to be able to, let's just make sure. Yes. Just wait a couple more seconds. There we go. Wonderful. So pitch number 2 is sorry about that, is Tuba Erbil of RebelBase. Go ahead, Tuba.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can. You can go ahead.
Great. It wasn't common where I am from, not outer space, by the way, to dream of launching something better. But I could see what was broken around me, and I wondered, what if people like me had an accessible toolkit to replace the way we do things today? People close to problems know best how to solve them, and talent need not migrate to a global center to participate in building what comes next. To meet the need, we built RebelBase, the B2B SaaS that for the first time gives teams an accessible framework for collaborating on new solutions, so organizations can compete in changing markets while driving measurable gains in skills and motivation. The secret lies in our dynamic project builders. Configurable modules that inject the knowledge teams need when they need it. To make bottom-up innovation simple and scalable, powering competitions, accelerator courses, and leadership development programs. RebelBase pulls this off where others can't because our core team combines decades of experience in software, content, data, and project-based learning. Remember how I wish organization had a toolkit for people like me? With RebelBase now, they do. This is a game changer for problem solvers. Take an employee like Anne Donofree, who, when she started on the platform, knew everything about senior care, but nothing about prototypes or markets, and used the platform to refine a solution, fund her pilot, and build key partnerships. Rebels like Anne recruit other rebels and build their alliance, while organizations sign up mentors, partners, and judges, decreasing cost of customer acquisition and driving powerful network effects. That is why RebelBase sold subscription to our B2B SaaS in each tier through word of mouth. And early subscribers brought the platform to 3,500 users in 13 countries and counting. These organizations share a common pain point. They know the future of work is here, in which teams collaborate on experiments to get ahead of change. The innovation platform space has heated up in response as investors compete to get in. But there's a wider $5.7 billion opportunity to power the future of work and learning by taking innovation management mainstream. RebelBase democratizes and accelerates innovation, harnessing the rebels amongst us. Rebels like Anne and me, who understand problems and with the right tools build tomorrow's lines of business and impactful solutions. After securing $300K in pre-seed, we are raising $750K for sales, marketing, and platform enhancements to meet the demand. We generated that first 100,000 in ARR through word of mouth with our MVP. With your investment, we'll 10x that in a year as we arm companies, schools, and regions for a future that's now here. Will you join the rebellion? Thank you.
Wonderful job. Still waiting for a video. Let's see. Wonderful. Wonderful job on your pitch. And what's up next is the Q&A from our judges, and the Q&A will be led by Julius Alejandro and Christina Montague. Who would like to go first?
I'll let Julius go because my video is not coming on.
Yeah, go ahead, Julius.
Yeah, no worries. First off, Tuba, good presentation, and I love the name. Totally reminded by Star Wars. I'm not sure. I hope that's the origin. So,
Definitely.
Awesome. My question is, this is awesome. This innovation management. What's the roadmap after a team flesh out an idea? How do you keep them engaged? To foster more innovative ideas, because that's awesome.
So what is unique about us is the content and the collaboration on the platform. So we provide that ecosystem for them to engage their employees, their supporters, their partners, their alumni, if it is an accelerator group, so they can create that environment for them to engage further. Of course, there are gamification in terms of like nudging people and suggesting them what they should do next, but also it's about the community and reaching out to each other and getting your bad ideas better as you go through the process.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I was just wondering about you have a proof of concept that you've gotten out to market, and I think on one slide you had maybe 3,500 users so far. Can you talk about a little bit about the profile of some of those users and your path to growth this year, which I think you tracked at close to 500,000. Kind of where are you in that process? Or do you have enterprise customers? Kind of a two-sided question there. So users and growth.
Sure. So I'll differentiate between our users and the customers. So in terms of our ideal customer profile, we have three types of customers. Where we started is our beachhead market is education, it's schools, and also the same way Qualtrics or Bloomberg did. That's where we proved our concept. We have customers in terms of the second layer is government and NGOs and those kind of organizations like Chamber of Commerce. So we have European Chamber of Commerce right now as part of our customer base that they are using it with creating the mentorship and the idea generation. So we are the platform that they are using between different countries, 5 different countries that are, this is a 3-year program that they are funding, and see how it goes, and then it will go from there. Then we have accelerator use cases, we have MBM Africa as one of our users, and that they are supporting the funders in MBM Africa is a different, it's a structured and unstructured, because in our platform, the content can be used structured based or unstructured, with the cohort management and those kind of functionalities. So they can engage them based on their needs. And the corporate use case is the other use case, which is we had a non-profit organization and Donofree, they asked their employees what should work differently, so they engaged them, and as part of that, the ideas generated and they used it. So we have the proof of concept. Right now, we are going after the corporate market. That's where the growth is going to be. So in terms of our model, we have 3 go-to-market strategies besides the usual ones. So one of them is authorized reseller model. So we are working with testing this right now with innovation consulting groups, so they can use RebelBase as one of their toolkit to differentiate themselves. So we are testing this now. We have advocates. So our users are our biggest advocates for us, so they can sell and they can bring customers. We've seen this. That's how we so far sold all of our subscriptions. And the other one is building our sales team. That's why we are raising funding, so we can be at more events, in more places where corporate customers are.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Julius, do you have another one? I could add one.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to play off your other question, Julius, kind of the other side of that equation. How do the employers or the people who are buying the product from you, how do they manage kind of the innovations that are coming in, vet ideas? I mean, is there a whole piece of your software that helps them to delineate, just it's probably a lot of really bad stuff that comes into and stuff that's not even worth looking at. And so, what's sort of the operationalized side of that for the, I don't know if you would call them the employer or the enterprise owner?
Yeah, one of the advantages of having a structured platform like RebelBase is you can see all the ideas that came throughout the years, right? So you can search within that ecosystem and see what worked, what didn't work, and then you can analyze why for that group it didn't work, and you can accelerate the learnings from previous failure. Let's put it that way. We strongly believe all ideas are gonna fail, but they can fail fast. So we have modules around this as well, to encouraging them, prototyping, making sure they can integrate measurable as they build their solution, they can measure their success and then learn from those and pivot quickly. So we give them those things, and then from this is a feature. In the future, we are having more also modules around how you should evaluate projects. So it's it's a two-sided market. It's a two-sided platform. So we only help Rebels, but also we help the evaluators or the people in the company how to look at those ideas, and there are going to be modules around those, how you should be engaging them, how you can compare apples to apples instead of apples and oranges. So there's a consistency in terms of what you are looking at as well.
Great, exactly what I was getting at. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Julia, you might.
Julius, do you have any other questions? Yeah, do you have any other questions, Julius, Christina, or any other judges?
Yeah, I do have one. In your ecosystem, that's awesome. Is there a way segmented so folks can find out, I want to talk to, let's say, a finance person for finance ideas? Is there a way to filter that within your system to ask for specific help?
Exactly. I can share my screen again, and that was one of the slides we cut. Is we have this members section. I don't know if I have it in the. Oops. Member slides. I can. I'll find. I can share it later. But yes, we have member sections. It's like a directory. There are skills that they can share. They have. They can have their titles. By those things, people can search and connect to each other. It's one of the breaking the silos is very important. So if those people work together, then there will be better solutions generated.
Wonderful. Any other questions? I think we're almost out of time. Maybe like one more question, 30 seconds. Oh, Christina, go ahead. Oh, you're good. You're done. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I think that the biggest thing for me is just like, what would be the next like 3 months look like for you so that we know what to look for in traction?
Yeah, that is where we are going very heavy right now. Business development is where we are like going very heavy. So we would like to see more tractions and more connections, partnerships built. So that's if you have any connections, referrals, happy to get those as well.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a lot of ecosystem builders here. So that's why I was like, okay, I need to just put it out there to help you out, So well done, Tuba. Thank you, Julius. Thank you, Christina, for your questions. And when we're getting the next pitch, which would be pitch number 3, just want to do a shout out to Rocket Judge. Rocket Judge is a flexible judging platform that lets you make your competitions and evaluations more exciting, dynamic, and stress-free. Just add your judges, competitors, and the rubric and watch the scores roll in. And you can try a free demo at www.rocketjudge.com today, and we're using it today. So it's exciting. And I think that we have our next, we have our next entrepreneur ready to go. Nicole, go ahead.
All right. So who remembers starting their business from scratch with no money? I know I do. Well, we are about to dismantle the funding obstacles faced by Black entrepreneurs in this country today. I am Nicole Murphy, founder and CEO of Barter Black, an exclusive bartering platform created specifically for Black entrepreneurs to exchange goods, services, and resources with each other in order to scale their business and reach their business goals. Why is this important?
Sorry, Nicole, we're not seeing your screen. Just want to make sure.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No. I just want to make sure that I thought, well, maybe she's doing this wonderful introduction and then going to be like magically have your pitch go. Okay. So go ahead and
sorry.
Yeah, don't worry. No. Okay. And while you're doing that, I just wanted to reintroduce Nicole Murphy of Barter Black. Wonderful. Now we can see your slide deck. You are awesome. Start all over. Just start all over.
All right. No problem.
Slate. Go ahead.
Gotcha. So who remembers starting their business from scratch with no money? I know I do. Well, together we are set to dismantle the funding obstacles faced by Black entrepreneurs in this country today. I am Nicole Murphy, founder and CEO of Barter Black, an exclusive bartering platform created specifically for Black entrepreneurs to exchange goods, services, and resources with each other in order to scale their business and reach their business goals. Why is this important? Well, first, Black entrepreneurs are more likely to seek, but less likely to receive outside funding. Labor cost is a massive concern for entrepreneurs building their brand. And 3, we lack the community built on helping each other grow. By using Barter Black, business owners can attract leads, save money, cut operating costs, contribute to each other's success, and scale their business with like-minded CEOs. Our vision is to empower Black entrepreneurs to break free of the racial funding gap into CEOs of employer-operated businesses through something as simple as bartering. There are over 3 million Black-owned businesses in the United States, and very few scale past solopreneurship. Statistics show that Black-owned businesses only account for 2.3% of employer-operated businesses, compared to our counterparts at 83.5%. And this is where we come in. By offering a service where entrepreneurs can still get the goods and services they need for their business, regardless of their budget to hire, scale their business because now they have the help they need to be successful, and in turn start to hire with the community that helped them build. We are stepping ahead of the market by integrating freelancing and bartering with the subscription-based business model targeted specifically to Black entrepreneurs. We're only 5 months in, but our team consists of myself, my CTO, my attorney, and my virtual assistant. We've also received the trademark for Barter Black and working with the Howard University to determine patentability for our application. I've been featured in Black Enterprise, and I've also been able to pitch to Pharrell Williams for 20 seconds. So let me ask you a question. Are you up for breaking statistics? If you did not know, August is Black Business Month, and I want you to envision a world where Black-owned businesses and business ideas don't die on the altar of no funds. So I invite you to join us in dismantling these roadblocks. But remember, every investment into Barter Black is not just helping us, but it's helping every Black entrepreneur that will use our platform to build successful businesses and create generational wealth for their families moving forward. So Barter Black, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great presentation. Love the passion and the bright colors and all of that. Wonderful job. Q&A is going to be led by Brianna McDonald and Julius Alejandro. So who would like to go first?
Well, my video's on, so I'll go first. Great
Go
job,
ahead.
Nicole.
Thank
you
you.
so much for your presentation. I'd love to learn a little bit more about the subscription model and how the CEOs engage with one another.
So the subscription model, it's $97 per month. They get unlimited access to post what jobs they need on our platform. Also with that, the platform comes our community, which is our private Facebook group. So they get to communicate and meet with each other on a month, probably twice a month, where we have a co-working space where we come together and bounce ideas off each other, which we have it the first Wednesday of each month, which is tomorrow. And then we have experts come in to teach different things about businesses that you need to be successful in your journey as an entrepreneur.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Great presentation. Hi, great presentation. I'm curious, with the Barter system, what accountability system do you have for barters? Just make sure, it's, they see what they do.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that, when you think of bartering, I created a shirt, bartering does not mean free. It means mutually beneficial barter relationships. So what I tried, it's not just the bartering platform, but I also try to educate in our community. So when you go on and post a job, whoever applies for that job can tell you what the value of their goods and services are. And you can accept or decline, and you can accept as many proposals as you want. Also, we do provide a bartering agreement. Because we want everyone to be on the same page with what they're bartering. We also provide mediation in case anything goes awry. So everyone on our platform, as long as they complete the bartering agreement, they get mediation from our attorney as well. But the good thing is that the people on the platform, we've been doing good. We're 5 months in, we've been doing good so far. I feel like they're invested in the mission and the social impact. So we really haven't had any issues. No, I don't have any wood right here, but I put these things in place just in case.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great to hear, because running a community can be a little challenging sometimes.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about the users and really the ideal user of your platform, and understanding that you're really looking to help support Black CEOs, but would you open it up beyond that to be able to have those champions out there that want to help support the growth of Black businesses?
Yes, so opening it up is something that I really haven't talked about, but in the plan. But as far as the users on the platform, there's all types of users on the platform. I just finished my cohort with the University of Maryland, where we did client discovery. And what I learned was that I have 3 key success partners in the industry. When we did our interviews, I asked the entrepreneurs, like, what did they need most in their business? And most of them said accounting, most of them said administrative assistance, and most of them said marketing. So I'm kind of focusing my energy on getting those people on the platform. But you have people who have skincare lines, you have people who are chefs, you have it all. So it really depends on what they need. And I try to, even though it's hard to get everyone, I try to figure out what each person needs so I can match them. We're the matching for people to actually, get someone in their business to help them out, because I feel like a lot of times we are trying to learn the things that we aren't experts in, instead of hiring the people that we actually need to make things run more efficiently.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So with that, is there a way to just piggyback off that? Is there a way to deep dive on this kind of specific needs? Like, oh, I need help in strategy. I need help in, certain things, CEO, like how do you manage a team and so forth. Is there a way it's categorized, or is it just kind of like whatever they want?
No, it is categorized in the different categories like marketing, like graphics, like technology and things like that. And then when you get into it, it goes to subcategories. But what I ask people to think about when they're posting is what are you doing as a CEO that you feel like others should be doing? And that kind of like gives the more detail instead of saying, oh, I just need marketing. No, what are you doing in marketing that you need help with?
All right, so how many users do you have since you launched 5 months ago? And what is your goal by the end of the year with users?
Right now we have 300 users. My goal is at least 500. And I'm focused on those key service providers as well, making sure that I have a lot of those on the platform.
Wonderful.
Well, we're almost out of time, maybe 30 seconds. If there's a quick question, you're good, Brianna?
I'm good.
Okay, Julius,
I'm
you're
good
good.
too.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nicole, so much. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so
very
much.
defined problem and wonderful pitch. Thank you so much. So up next we have, let's just make sure that I'm on the right track here. Next up, we wanted to make sure that just to remind you that we're all over social media and you need to connect with us at Stella. We need to be able to connect with you. We always accept all the DMs that we can so that we can really get engagement from our audience. So we are Stella Co. is on Instagram. We are on also LinkedIn, and we have all of our events for the whole month of August on LinkedIn as events. So we're super excited. Connect with us, follow us on social media, tell your friends to follow us on social media, tag it up so that we can reach more people and more places so that we can really help all the entrepreneurs across this wonderful nation. So up next, I just want to make sure that we are all ready to go. Do we have, oh, wonderful, Dana. We are up next is Dana, Donofree of AnaOno. And the floor is yours. And I just want to make sure that, oh, you are all ready to go. Dana, you're going to do amazing.
Hi, I'm Dana Donofree, the founder and CEO of AnaOno, boob inclusive lingerie. All chests are different, but for millions of women, they're incredibly different. And this is why. Post-surgery intimates have been poorly designed for decades. They're matronly, utilitarian, and some even call them a grandma bra. I didn't just set out to disrupt mastectomy. I set out to change the way that we see mastectomy with beautiful and comfortable intimates that help women feel good. Competition in this specialty sector of intimate apparel has been incredibly limited. That was, of course, until we launched AnaOno in 2014. We compete in 3 different categories, one being mastectomy bras. These are pocketed for the use of breast forms when the breasts are missing from a woman's body. Compression garments are aiding in the healing process, but they leave the lifestyle needs of that patient ignored. And the ever popular shelf bra that's available online and branded and marketed to younger populations, they do serve a need post-op, but leave fashion left in the dust. Being different is in our DNA. Our competitive advantage, boob inclusion. You heard me say it earlier, but you've likely been wondering, what could I possibly mean? We say 1 boob, 2 boobs, no boobs, or new boobs, we have you supported. Inclusion is more than a skin tone or a size. It's if there are any breasts at all. And this is where we step in because the underwear drawer is the last thing that should be disrupted in a patient's life. The intimates market is estimated at $50 billion. Post-surgery bras are not a niche. They've been a specialty segment of this market for nearly 50 years. And AnaOno's unique total addressable market is $2 billion. We get there by assigning our own $112 annual buyer value to our direct customer by giving them what it is that they've been seeking but haven't been able to find. And to date, we've generated more than $5 million in sales, with nearly half of that being done in just the last 2 years. And our customers notice our difference. There's thousands of 5-star reviews on our website sharing in their lived experience and how AnaOno is making a difference in their lives well beyond just a great fitting bra that's comfortable. And you may be wondering, how do I know these customers so intimately? I myself am one. I had a double mastectomy at 27, and I've spent the last 10 years changing the face of this intimates category. And by leveraging my 20 years of fashion industry experience, I bring more than just a personal lived experience to AnaOno. I bring in expert industry knowledge as well. But I can't do it alone, and I've built an amazing team to get the job done so we can continue to scale our business and help serve patients around the world. I know that we are different and that our customers are too, but with your help, we can impact millions of lives that deserve better. My ask is that you share AnaOno with anyone in your life you know could benefit from looking and feeling good after breast surgery. And if interested, we're looking to close out our $1.5 million round with over $1 million already committed. Thank you for your time, and I look so forward to answering your questions.
Wonderful job. It was a great presentation, and can't wait for all the questions to be asked by our leads, which are Cheryl Conti and Brianna McDonald. So who would like to go first? Let's see. Oh, Brianna, you're up on video. Oh, Cheryl, go ahead.
Cheryl, raise your hand. She can go first.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brianna. Just quickly, I wear a 36G. I'm not ashamed to say it. And so, the challenge of finding bras that fit, that also look nice, I know all about it, even though, of course, I don't know the specific challenges of mastectomy patients, and boob inclusive, it's a really hot trend, whether it's Dove or Third Love, etc., Rihanna, Yitty, you're right there. So super smart. What is your market strategy? I mean, there's a lot of, potentially, I would assume, competitors. What's your marketing strategy look like?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for that. And thank you for your own personal experience, because we know that fitting bras for women anyways is an uncomfortable and complicated situation. So, to us, our boob inclusive movement is not a marketing strategy. It is our DNA. And that really is a huge competitive difference to what is available and in the market today. We don't just say it, we are it. And I think what's great is some of the examples that you've provided, actually. Third Love, even though they do have a great inclusive position talking about large breasts, small breasts, side set breasts, they do not service a mastectomy and breast surgery customer. So actually in February, they launched AnaOno as their post-surgery intimates line on thirdlove.com so they could help check a box. So we're really making an impact in this space in the digital world as well as in real life. We're carried through multiple stores across the United States. And for us, having that position and being able to service a clientele that has been largely forgotten over the last few decades, especially as e-commerce brands have been growing, is really our sweet spot. So for us, building our brand as a line item on our balance sheet is incredibly important, because our brand is really what's going to give us the advantage.
So basically you're making partnerships, it sounds like. And that's a big part of your marketing. I mean, Third Love, congratulations. That's awesome. Second question,
yeah,
and then Brianna, definitely want to turn it over to you. Supply chain. I mean, I know, I'm seeing it, in clothing purchases. How is the supply chain impacting AnaOno, and how are you navigating / adjusting for that?
Great question. I love this question because, as I mentioned earlier, I've been in the fashion intimates industry for over 20 years. So I have a very large Rolodex. I've supplied and made product all around the globe. And I'm really excited to say that supply chain has not largely impacted us as it has other consumer product businesses. Mostly because we do manufacture in South America. So we're avoiding a lot of the challenges that the Asian continent is having right now as far as supply chain and logistics. We are a lot closer to home, but also because they run a lot of cadence similar to us. So as we grow and our supply chain increases, we will diversify to other countries. But as of right now, the only thing that's really impacted us is about a 14 more day lead time so we can get more trims to make our products. So I'm happy to say that our supply chain is intact through our manufacturing, and we're designed in Philadelphia. We manufacture in South America, and that's really been a smooth cadence thus far.
Smart. Brianna.
All right, thanks. Great job and fantastic success on the business to be able to get to 5 million in revenue. Unfortunately, I have too many friends that have dealt with this, and really being able to feel normal again for them is just something that they really strive for. So thanks for building such a great product. Being you have 5 million in revenue, can you talk a little bit about your revenue goals and what you look to achieve with this 1.5 million in financing, and how that amount of money will get you to the next level, and what milestones you're looking to hit there?
Yes, so we raised our first pre-seed round in 2018, which was a $600,000 round, and that really has propelled our growth over the last few years to start gaining the traction that we needed inside the digital marketplace. And, you know, as you just mentioned, right, there are millions of people that have been facing a breast cancer diagnosis that don't know where to turn or how to continue to feel like themselves after they've gone through such trauma and such body changes. So our goal with our $1.5 million raise is to get us to the $10 million revenue mark, where we can really start to capture a bigger chunk of the intimate space that's available to us, so we can make sure that we're servicing, you know, 100,000 customers instead of 30,000 or 40,000 customers, and being able to get that opportunity to do that through increasing marketing channels, as well as a bigger and broader spend, so we can be the first go to market strategy, or the go to market option when people are facing an unfortunate diagnosis and looking for all of the things that they need to feel beautiful afterwards.
All right, great. Are we running out of time, Sylvia?
One more question.
Tiny questions. You mentioned brick and mortar, and with CPG products, you know, one of the challenges that you have is just inventory hold. Can you talk a little bit about the inventory hold you have and how you're looking to balance that out as you continue to grow and scale the business?
Yeah, so great question. Our business portfolio is about 65% of our annual revenues are done direct to consumer through our e-commerce channel. 35% is done through our wholesale channel, which includes Soma, Third Love, Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, and we just launched on Target yesterday. Nice. So having that ability to bring our products into our pipeline, since so much of our business is actually housed in our direct to consumer, we're able to plan both marketing strategies, both channels, to ensure that our availability is there for our wholesale clients as well as our consumer clients.
Okay, super last quick question. What is the price point?
So our price points online are a very middle range. So we're $34 to $54 for our bras.
All right, thank you. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Those were quick questions. So thank you and quick answers. Thank you, Dana, so much. A wonderful Q&A session and wonderful pitch. While we're getting the next and last pitch up and running, we want to just remind the audience what we do have: a sister organization called AnaOno Ventures. I'm one of the partners there, alongside my wonderful other venture partners, Allison Longpatine and Vidya Dinamani. And we have founder boot camps that are coming up. We have applications going on. They're also coming every single quarter. So rollovers happen, you apply, you get selected, you don't get selected, it's okay. We'll get you in. It's 5 days of awesome curriculum. And then we also have investor boot camps. So go on the website AnaOno Ventures and also look us up on LinkedIn, and you'll find all the information there. So we would love to see you at any of the boot camps that are investor related and entrepreneurial related. So up next, make sure that I have Oh, yes, you're ready to go. Wonderful. So up next is Tania Kottoor of WESTxEAST. So you're up and running, and let me just make sure that it's live.
Can you see? Oh, hold on.
Just let's try that again. I just saw a black screen. So hopefully the next time it will be better. No problem.
Sure. And it's Tania Kottoor. I'm the co-founder and CEO of WESTxEAST. Okay.
Perfect. Oh, yeah. We see this now. Wonderful. The floor is yours.
WESTxEAST is an AI-powered design platform for custom fit ethnic clothing. Remember how you first got engaged and how excited you were to finally try on wedding dresses or tuxedos? Well, let me tell you about a friend named Kavya who got engaged and her horror story. Kavya, like myself, is a first-generation Indian American. She quickly realized that she didn't have the time or money to go to India. So she tried her luck online, but when the outfit came, it looked nothing like what she saw on screen. Kavya drove 2 hours to the nearest Little India in her area, and she couldn't find anything that fit her, and the inventory looked like it was from the 90s. I still remember Kavya's desperate phone call for help, and that's how West by East was born. Our solution is a seamless experience that is transparent, reliable, and can be done from the comfort of the customer's home. Our customers can select the silhouette, color, and fabric, use their phone to take their measurements virtually in 60 seconds. We then obtain the customer's avatar to create a 3D rendering of the complete outfit on their actual body. This allows the customer to truly envision the final results before we go into production. And this is the end result. Pretty cool, right? The market is full of high-income individuals who are looking for garments not just for weddings, but for every momentous celebration. We are going after the fastest growing diaspora with a $32 billion global market opportunity and a $10 billion North American addressable market. During a global pandemic, we realized what we built was transformative. So far, we have sold over 1,000 units, 60% profit margin, and a $3,500 average order size. Here are testimonials by real customers. And each of these customers brought us 3 more. An incredible referral chain was unlocked. My co-founder and I are uniquely positioned to build and win in this space. We have a combined 20 years of experience in luxury fashion and manufacturing. We have surrounded ourselves by an unparalleled team of investors, advisors, and design production experts to elevate and propel us forward. To achieve our next milestones, we are partnering up with investors who align in our mission. By winning the Women's Venture Summit, we'll be able to convert our production unit into a smart factory to achieve a 1-week delivery time. The funding will allow us to take customers off a wait list that equates to about $500,000 in immediate revenue. We started here with folks like Kavya, but that's just the beginning. Our next step is to expand into other diasporas like African, East Asian, Middle Eastern, and continue our mission of preserving cultural heritage through clothing. Thank you.
Wonderful job. I always love seeing all of your wonderful pictures. Wonderful presentation. So the question and answer will be led by Christina Montague and Cheryl Conti.
I'll go first. Great presentation. Having been to many Indian weddings and different types of outfits, sari versus a sarwar, I know the struggle. So what's your conversion rate? Your people do the virtual try on. What's the conversion rate of the try on to the buying?
So the virtual, so they actually go through the process of selecting the silhouette, color, fabric, and then they actually take their virtual measurements. And they already pay beforehand as well.
Okay.
And then we go into production. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
and then, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your exit strategy?
The exit strategy, the daunting question. Well, we hope there's a lucrative liquidity plan in the future, and we're fully committed to building this into a multi-billion-dollar revenue generating company. So we want to make lots of money for Stella Angels. However, we want to be potential of getting acquired within 6 years, ideally by Amazon India or Amazon. I spoke to someone who's a C-level executive there, and they actually kind of gave it to me on a silver plate. And they have been testing out a lot of digital fashion concepts in various cities and trying to see what's sticking. Others include LVMH, Richmond, Luxottica, Kering, as well as major players in India like Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited and Reliance Retail, who have recently bought out huge amounts of stake from Kottoor designers in India. And all these companies have aggressively entered the South Asian market and are investing in digital fashion as well.
Thanks.
Great presentation. I think this is a fascinating product, and kudos to the early traction. What would you say is sort of your secret sauce of this product? Is it the AI? I mean, obviously there are probably some other bespoke, and you said Kottoor folks in this space. It is a pretty high-end price point. So what do you think is your differentiator and your competitive advantage?
Well, our customers pay us upfront before they actually get the physical garment. That's the secret sauce itself. I think our entire design process is, again, can be done from the comfort of your own home. You never have to leave. And the number one option to source for traditional garments is a trip to South Asia or back to the motherland, which is pretty ridiculous. And we're catering to the next generation of consumers who are beyond millennials, but like Gen Zers, who honestly just don't have the time or money to travel back to South Asia just to do shopping. And they can't speak the language fluently. It's hard to navigate. They're used to companies like Amazon and they want everything within a week. So speed is really important.
Yeah, and I follow up to that. Are the majority of your customers US based at this point?
North America, Canada, and the US. Yeah. Great. But we want to expand to Europe and Australia.
Mm-hmm. Great. Cheryl?
What's your marketing strategy look like?
So we've been fortunate to grow organically through word of mouth. It's pretty much 0 to none marketing spend, but we have a 50% direct referral rate, 25% repeat purchase, and another 25% from social media, Google and Reddit. But with funding, we expect to invest substantially in customer acquisition and marketing efforts. We want to become the one-stop shop for all your traditional garment needs. So to do that, our aggressive GTM strategy is 1, we will be investing in content creators. They're really good at storytelling. 2, building loyalty programs to reward our awesome customers for bringing in more customers. And then 3, pop-up shops. We want to become an omni-channel and be accessible virtually and physically. We'll be digital first and always will be, but I don't think brands should shy away from in-person experiences. We want to reimagine in-store experience and deliver a more meaningful customer experience that amplifies our brand.
Thank you. That sounds great.
Can you talk a little bit about the raise and whether that's really enough to kind of accelerate the growth that you want to see? Seems like somewhat of a small raise for where you're going.
Yeah, we're raising $1.2 million.
Oh, I thought it said 500,000. Sorry.
Oh no, that's we have a wait list that equates to $500,000 in immediate revenue. Yeah. We're raising $1.2 million to build out the front end. So the demo that I showed you, we're actually doing a whole rebrand to really get our messaging crystal clear. And then the look, the feel, and then we're working with a different branding agency to build out a new website. And then the back end. So converting our production unit into a smart factory. And we have a partnership with Lectra and Gerber Technology to do so. That allows us to become 0 waste, 0 inventory. And again, a 1-week turnaround time from purchase to delivery. And then the third thing is marketing. So we can get into the hands of more customers.
Thank you.
Those were all my questions.
Okay, 30 more seconds. If there's, we're running out of time, but I just want to make sure if there's a quick question, we can do that. No, Christina, you're good? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Wonderful pitch, wonderful Q&A, great clarifications on a couple of things. So wonderful. Now we're all done with all the pitches. Well done, all entrepreneurs. You all did so amazing. And thank you for the judges for asking really critical questions of like making sure that we know the marketing and the go-to-market strategy and the raise and all of those things. Those are very typical questions when you're doing with a pitch competition and also like your first investor meeting. So entrepreneurs, now you know what it feels like and what it looks like if you've never seen it before. And for those who are out there who have done it, now you kind of feel like, okay, now you're not on stage. So you were able to kind of see a little bit of what was going behind the scenes. So right now, our transition is so the judges can deliberate on all of the entrepreneurs, and we're going to go into a separate room. But judges, just want to remind you, please keep your screens on at this point until we move you to the to the other room, because then we can't open up your screens. It's just like a little bit of a snafu on Zoom. So I wanted to encourage everybody who's online, take the time to vote for audience choice. The information is in the chat box below, or visit slido.com with number. It's very hard to remember, but still, I'm just going to say it out loud, 54672. Okay, so everything is in the chat below. Our team is rocking and rolling on that YouTube channel. Please vote for your audience choice. It's super important for us to know that and to be able to recognize those entrepreneurs that just shine today based on our audience choice. So as I go off and talk to the judges, I wanted to let everybody know you're going to hear a very, very special talk with Heidi Erlacher of Cooley, and she is an IP lawyer at Cooley and the head of Cooley's Boston office. She focuses on worldwide patent acquisition and strategic counseling for a wide range of clients. Heidi, thanks again for joining us today. It is your stage now.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Nice to meet you all. I was able to catch a couple of the final presentations, and they're very impressive. I will have to tell you, I am a patent attorney. I'm a chemist. I focus on mostly pharmaceuticals, so my sweet spot isn't really going to be that practical for some of you, but we'll give it a go anyway. I can talk about other kinds of IP. So I'm trying to. I can't see if I shared my screen appropriately.
We can see it.
Great. So as I said, my name is Heidi Erlacher. I am the head of the Cooley's Boston office. I've been practicing patent law for many, many years. And as I said, I'm a chemist, so my emphasis is really on small molecule pharmaceuticals. That's what I love. What I like to do in my spare time for fun is I like to go to Orange Theory to work out, and I love to travel. Both activities were sort of taken away from me for a couple of years during COVID, but I managed to get through, and I'm happy to be back working out at Orange Theory and starting to think about traveling again, even though who knows with whatever variant we're on now for COVID. So Cooley is here to help you grow. Cooley is, despite being a large law firm, we have 17 offices across the US, Europe, and Asia, and over 1,500 lawyers. We still, even though we're, I think, a mid to large size firm, we do like to work with emerging companies. And I think that's something that surprises a lot of people. They think, oh, big law firm, they won't want to deal with us. So some blurbs about Cooley. We're, I guess what you can call a transactional powerhouse. In the past 5 years, we've been doing probably more IPOs than just about any other country, certainly than any other law firm, certainly in the life sciences, and over 80 deals that were over $1 billion in worth. Also an IP powerhouse. So we've got the largest life sciences practice in this country. But we also have our colleagues in the UK, and we're working on considering building out and including adding some IP folks to our offices in Asia. And as you can see, that we manage a whole lot of different types of IP for our clients, mostly patents and trademarks. We do some trade secret work, including litigations. So as I mentioned, Cooley, we represent innovative companies. We do like to work with startups. And so this is just representative sampling of some of those companies. Interesting, I think you guys something you might want to check out is Cooley Go. And this is a website that we have that anyone can just go to and get some information, some sample documents, anything that might be of interest to startups. So I encourage you to check that out when you have the time. And we also have a similar website, not quite as, hasn't been around quite as long as Cooley Go, but Cooley Protect. It's also a resource for people if they want to get some help with some of their IP needs. So the crux of this talk is, what is intellectual property? So, property is anything that is the subject of ownership, but intellectual property sort of lacks physical existence. So we've got major categories of patents, trade secrets, trademarks, and copyright. So why is IP important? Some of you may already know this, but you want to make sure that you can do what you need to do for your company. So, do we have the freedom to go and use this design, or to use this particular product? Can we call our company what we want to call our company? Can we use this name, or we have to change the name? And if we don't take care now, later on down the road, we may get sued. But also offensively, can we obtain exclusive rights? Can we prevent others from sort of playing in our field? Can we develop a strong brand? And then also, IP is a value driver. Can we create value for our investors and our acquirers? Will we have to spend money to license somebody else's IP, or will we have to? Will we be able to license our IP to generate revenue from others? So one major aspect of intellectual property is patents. So a patent is a property right that is based on the invention, and a patent doesn't let you do anything. What a patent does is it allows you to prevent someone from making, using, selling, or offering to sell a product or a use that's covered by your patent. Patents are territorial. So for example, US patents only cover the US. So if you have a global business, you'll have to seek patent protection in other countries as well. And patents are a trade-off. So the life of a patent is 20 years from filing. But in order to get that 20-year monopoly, what you have to do is you have to disclose exactly what your invention is, and you have to teach other people how to use, make, or sell your invention. So that's the trade-off. You get a monopoly, but you have to teach other people how to use your invention when your 20-year monopoly is up. So a trade secret's a bit different from a patent. So it's something that you don't have to teach anyone how to do, and you keep it, as the name says, as secret. There's no registration system for it, but there's no real protection from somebody reverse engineering your product. So one of the things that one of the examples we always use, for example, a Coca-Cola formula, or even like Kentucky Fried Chicken, secret recipe. It's not patented, so it's not disclosed. And they keep this, their secret formula is very well guarded, but if it leaked out, or if somebody figured out how to replicate the Coca-Cola formula or the KFC special spice blend, then there's nothing they could do about it. So this slide also just sort of talks a little bit about the patents. As I said, it's a right to exclude others. They can be expensive to obtain, takes a long time to get. It's a bit slower. So I primarily work in pharmaceuticals, so the lifetime for pharmaceuticals is long. But patenting isn't always good for all fields. For example, in software, or in some high-tech industries that are changing very rapidly. By the time you even get a patent, maybe the technology has changed. So trade secrets are something that can be beneficial. Again, you have to make sure that you take care to protect them. But trade secrets are good for screening technologies. For example, you don't necessarily want to teach other people how to screen for molecules the way you're doing it, or you don't want to have to share your code necessarily with the world that you use, in your product. Copyrights, I'm sure you've been thinking about a bit, especially those of you who are working with, you have your logos that you trademark, but copyrights are sort of creative expressions of original work. So if you have music that might be associated with your company, or if you've written, some kind of press release or what have you, those are creative expressions would be protected by copyright. So they're not ideas, as I said, they're expressions, and they do have a longer life than patents. If you are the author of your own copyright, the duration is the author's life plus 70 years. And then, trademarks are important for, brand recognition. So they're source identifiers. They help people understand, who's behind the product or the goods. And so the trademark is also something that you would seek protection in a particular territory, and you would work with the Patent and Trademark Office of that country in order to secure your trademark protection. Like patents, they can be costly, and you need to police your trademarks to make sure that they don't become generic, because if they become generic, then you'll lose your trademark protection. For example, in this country, we use the word Band-Aid or to mean, a plaster that you put on a cut, or we use, Kleenex to refer to a facial tissue. So those companies are losing the ability to enforce those trademarks, because even like Google, because we just say, instead of searching something on the internet, we say, oh, Google it. This slide just illustrates the interplay between different types of IP. So something that one could secure a patent on would be, for example, a novel design of a cap, or a different chemical makeup of a bottle for a Coca-Cola. Those are things that you could patent. The design of the bottle could be protected by a design patent. As I mentioned before, the formula for the Coke would be a trade secret, most likely. The very recognizable script of the Coca-Cola logo, that's protected by trademark. And then, the contour dress, that's also could be trademarked, the shape of the bottle. So just some things to remember. As I said, patents are not, they don't give you a right to do anything. They just allow you to prevent others from practicing your invention. What you get by a patent is defined by the claims. So when you see a published patent application, that doesn't mean it's a patent. It doesn't mean that everything that's disclosed in there will become an issued claim in a patent. So be careful of that interplay. And as I mentioned, patentability is, can I get a patent to block others? That doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be able to practice that invention, because it might overlap with somebody else's invention. But, and that's the freedom to operate. Can others block me with their patents from doing, whatever it is that I want to do for my invention? Again, as I said, you have to teach other people how to make and use your invention. So the applications have to be relatively detailed. You have to make sure that there are no public disclosures of your invention before you file your patent application. And one thing that's always comes up a lot with startup companies and with a lot of collaborations with academics is that inventorship isn't the same thing as authorship. So it's a legal determination that who contributes to the concept of the invention. And so it's not the same thing as authorship, where you might credit somebody for helping you run an experiment, if you will. So for trade secrets, as I mentioned, there's nothing stopping competitors from reverse engineering what you've done to independently develop information or your invention. So you have to take great care and to protect your trade secrets. And so each company should have very detailed protocols. If you can split up different pieces of information with different people, as I think they have done with the Coca-Cola formula, that's something that's advisable. And provide training for employees about trade secrets. And then make sure that when you communicate anything about trade secrets, it's on a need-to-know basis. So you want to make sure you're not just people and all employees know not to just share the information. So copyrights, I think that you just make sure that if anyone is helping you come up with any creative work, that they have agreements in place to make sure that their rights transfer to the company. And if you are using anybody else's imagery, you make sure that you seek licenses if you need them. You may not be covered by fair use if you're using them in a commercial setting. As I mentioned before, trademark, it's something that makes goods or services distinctive. Not all terms can be trademarked if they're very generic. They're either weak trademarks if they're trademarkable at all, but fanciful made-up marks tend to be stronger protection here. And then just to keep in mind that IP can be a value driver for investors, acquirers, or underwriters. What they're going to look for is just to try to understand what the IP is that you have, be it patents, copyrights, or trademarks. Make sure that your IP protection strategy is aligned with your business plan. And then make sure that, you have the rights to, they're going to make sure that you have the rights to IP. For example, if you have our collaborator, this company, has a company secured the rights from that collaborator. They're going to, look at the strength of your IP portfolio, what coverage you have in various markets. They're going to want to know what your competitors might be. They're going to make sure that you're not infringing anybody else's patents. So they're going to make sure that you do have that freedom to operate, as I mentioned. And again, make sure that all the formalities, the assignments and licenses and things are all nice and tidy. So again, a potential investor might ask you for copies of the formal matters to make sure that all the registrations and related materials are, as they should be, they're accurate, and that the company has rights to everything that we purport to have rights to. Make sure that there aren't any disputes. Whenever we do diligence on somebody, we always make sure that we do a litigation search to make sure they haven't been sued for anything. They'll ask about licenses and want to see the terms of those. And then again, the company will most likely have to make some reps and warranties that it owns or it has all the rights to any IP necessary to run the business. And then, just sort of make sure that you have a good relationship with your law firm. You want a law firm that's not just going to say, oh yes, let's just file on everything. You want to be strategic in your filing because, as I've mentioned, filing an IP can be expensive. So you want to make sure that you've got counsel that cares about your business, that understands your business, that's going to work with you to do the best that we can in order to get you the IP that your company needs, and that it's an ongoing relationship. So there are lots of good lawyers, but you want to make sure that you find a good lawyer that's also somebody that that you have a good relationship with, that you can work with. And especially for startups, I like the last bullet point where you asked about creative ways to divide tasks. I often say to my clients, the more you do, the less I do, to work on a patent, and the cheaper it's going to be for you. So, it's important for the company to take ownership of the IP filings and to help out instead of just, giving your attorney a PowerPoint slide, say, write a patent on this. It's going to take me more work. It's going to cost you more money, but it'll definitely be a better product if it's a collaborative effort between the company, and the outside attorney. So I recommend finding people that you like to work with and that, care about you and your company. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. That was, years and years of, you can take an IP class for I don't know how many months, but you got it in about 10 minutes.
Thank you so much, Heidi. I don't know if we have any questions from the audience, but if we don't, thank you. That was super informative.
Well, if anybody has any questions, you can figure out how to find me. So
I can't wait to hear the recording and be able to hear all the things that you guys talked about. So wonderful, so exciting. So thank you so much, Heidi, for being part of this wonderful event. And the judges had a very, very hard time considering all of the wonderful pitches that happen and all the entrepreneurs. I'm waiting to get all the entrepreneurs back in. It's so amazing. First and foremost, everybody did such a great job. Very clear descriptions of everybody's pitches and companies. And I just want to triple check, just making sure that I am on the right thing. Yes. I just want to make sure that we have the audience choice, and I think we're going with what we have. So perfect. Thank you so much. Our tech team is amazing. Our Stella team is amazing. It's like, yeah, how do I do it? Boom, it's right there. So wonderful. We would like to first announce the audience choice of Women's Fast Pitch. It is RebelBase. Congratulations on winning the audience choice. You did such a great job. Wonderful job. And then without further ado, the winner, drum roll please, of the, I love that, Women's Fast Pitch Northeast is AnaOno. Congratulations. And you can go off mute and just say something that you would like to say. Congratulations. You did a fantastic job.
Well, I'm glad I was on mute because I just screamed. But thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you to the judges, all of the other incredible female founders. It's just, we're all in this together, and we're all already winners. And thank you so much for listening to our story and the impact that we can make to help other people. And really, it's a huge army that we need. So thank you all for listening and tuning in and supporting all of us. It means a lot.
Thanks so much. And I'm going to hand it over to Raven, who is going to close out our event. It has been wonderful. It has been a minute. So Raven, go ahead and close us out.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I was just going to go over those 3 announcements that I asked you to wait for till the end. Very excited to say that we facilitate special purpose vehicles for all of our founders participating in our fast pitch. So if you are an accredited investor and you registered for this event as one, our Lauren Rowley, our Chief Investment Officer, will be reaching out to you automatically to see if you're interested in joining us for next steps with our special purpose vehicle. So be on the lookout for that. Next, you're really here because this is the first step in our Women's Venture Summit. It's an experience. We're excited to have it coming up. You'll get the chance to find out who actually wins. So each winner of this, so AnaOno will move on to our Venture Summit. She will be part of day 2. She will pitch against all of the other regions. And if you join us for Venture Summit, you get to find out who that is. Yeah, so we're excited. Please join us. You can use the promo code WFP2WVS to get 15% off all ticket types. Please don't hesitate to register. Breakout sessions, there are breakout sessions and workshops, and they have limited seating, so you're going to want to register in advance. And then our number 3 announcement is that one of the parts of Stella is that we have a lab which helps founders go from ideation or initial start of a business all the way to launch, sometimes funding. So that cohort, our 2022 cohort's demo day is coming up on September 1st. It will be a lot like the event that you saw today. It is another free event with the opportunity to get to know some of our community. So make sure that you are subscribed to our email communications and that you follow us on social media so you get the announcement when those tickets are available. And that is really it. I want to take a moment again to thank our team, the founders, and our judges. Thank our sponsors, Cooley, the Impact Seat Foundation, and Rocket Judge. Please join us again next week for the Southeast stop of the Women's Fast Pitch on August 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see you then. Thank you so much.